Telescopes today are the same as telescopes when they were invented. They're just bigger, right? The principle behind them is bigger.
The shapes of the stars are the same in all telescopes. The more powerful the telescope, the deeper in space can we see. At least that's what they say. The astronomy telescope was invented by those who invented the globe. It is the Catholic Church who invented the globe and heliocentrism about 600 years ago. And therefore, the Galileo's trial was just another illusion staged by the Catholic Church. Okay, when I use my telescope in order to see a house or a boat or a mountain far away, I know how to adjust it in order to have a perfect picture. Now, if the picture is blurred, I know it because I know what a house looks like, what a mountain looks like, what a boat looks like. Now, about the stars, I don't know what a star looks like. I never saw one close enough. So when I use my telescope in order to observe the stars at night, all I can see is like, blurred spots of, light with sparks and whatever. Now, the funny thing is that it seems that all the telescopes in the world give us the same images of stars. All the stars have the same shape, with the telescopes. No matter, how big the telescope, even like a huge extra large telescope gives you, the same pictures of stars. The only difference is, according to what they say, is that the bigger the telescope and the deeper into space you can see. Now, the problem I have with this is that, well, if you have a telescope that can go deep in space, what do you have to go deep in space? Just concentrate, your vision on the stars that are close to see, if you can get like a better image, like a, more precise shape of that star. But that doesn't happen. All they show you is like, more stars and more stars that have the same shape, but that are, farther away. So all this brings me to, think again. And when I understand that the telescopes that we use today are actually the same ones that, the ones that were created, like 400 years ago. Well, I'm starting to realize that, since those telescopes were created by the very people that also engineered the globe lie, so I'm saying to myself, is it possible that these people would have put so much effort and time and money into engineering such a lie, and at the same time, engineer an instrument to observe, the stars the way they are, and also maybe the dome, of course. So it doesn't make sense for me that they would have done that, and they would have allowed us to, debunk, their lie. So what I believe might make sense is that these people, when they engineered, they were in the middle of, engineering that lie of the globe. They had to engineer also a rigged instrument in order for us never to see the real shape of the stars and the shape of the dome that's, surrounds them. Okay, so now what do we know about the stars? First of all, according to our books, we know that a dome was placed upon the earth. and that this dome is made out of a solid and transparent matter. According to our scholars, it looks like very stiff ice. Now we also know that the stars and the two great luminaries were placed into the dome, but more precisely into the dome of the skies. Now, since the skies is the name that was given to the dome in the beginning, we can read that actually the stars and those two great luminaries were placed into the dome of the dome. Understanding by that there is a dome and there is a dome of the dome, and that the stars are in fact ingelled into that layer of stiff ice. Now, knowing all this, it makes sense to me that Galileo, who invented the first astronomy telescope, and all the guys like him that were in on the globe lie, who improved also telescopes and kept on building them, managed somehow to create these devices in such a way with games of mirrors inside that will never allow us to get perfect pictures of stars or even of the dome. Now, so far all this was just like a theory until the day Mike Allen popped up. Started in 2023. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, let's go with 2024, 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even 2020. No, yeah, about there. Yeah.
And it
It
was
was two and a half years ago, but I just can't remember it was in the summer. Wouldn't have not been this summer, the last summer, the summer before that. So
okay, so summer 23. So it was in Canada, right? Because I understand you
yes,
live in
yeah,
Canada.
you
Okay,
betcha. After that, I was just amazed. So I was thinking about that for a while, a few months, 6 months, and I'm like, how do I do this? So I was thinking like, okay, well, I've already tried my camera, the P1000, that wasn't working for me. So I went through all the processes of borrowing someone's hunting scope to see in the distance, to see deer far in the distance in the trees. That wasn't working for me at the time because it was just a single eyepiece. And so I was like, well, let's try a monoscope, see what happens with that. Just a little tiny monoscope. It had good magnification and it worked, but it was just too flimsy. It wouldn't work on a big tripod, and
so
so wasn't so
when
work.
you say it didn't work for you, that means that the pictures that you were taking with the P1000 were like blurred, like it wasn't like
Yeah, it seemed to me that they weren't natural. There was some kind of distortion happening.
yeah.
Uh, I was whether it, yeah, I was well, I was assuming it was probably the moisture in the air, or there was something wrong with the camera itself. Yeah, I wanted to try to do something more natural. So I went to binoculars, more natural viewing. How could I do this? I don't want a telescope. I don't want what
Yes.
was
What are you calling natural? Like because the binoculars for you is like more natural. Actually, it looks more natural because just look inside it and that's it.
yeah,
Telescopes
yeah.
are like have all kinds of games of mirrors inside and everything. But I don't know what's the difference really between binoculars and
Yeah,
telescopes.
well the telescopes I don't know. I went to an observatory. I was not happy with what I saw when I was
Kidding.
looking through the big telescope they had. It seemed to me like the star was pushed further away or it didn't move at all because when you have a massive telescope, 6 or 7 times larger than my binoculars, you would think the star would be right in front of you or the stars, but they're not. They're just there.
Just like
So
they're creating an illusion, you're saying. It's possible they're
yeah,
creating some kind of an illusion. Because,
yeah,
okay, we in the flat earth community, we know that, the earth is flat, it's not a globe. We know that there is a dome on the earth. We also know that the stars are all, not billions of light years away, but they're close to us. This is
yeah,
what we understand, what we know. Now, the
yeah,
thing is that, of course, if we think about it, these people with like extra large, telescopes, going like, billions of years away and seeing stars, they only bring us the same shapes of the stars that we can see with, regular telescopes, like small telescopes. That means that what they're saying is that, these stars that they're showing us are like very far away, but the shape don't change. They never give us like
yeah,
any high resolution of the stars.
yeah,
Never. So
yeah.
that's
No,
that's kind
never.
of that's kind of weird. So of course, since we know that there is no depth in space, according to what we understand, so of course there might be some kind of a trickery here, some kind of some kind of a game that they want us to believe that the space is deep, but it's not. And
Hmm.
actually, what they do, looks like it, because they never
Yeah,
can zoom on the close stars, the ones that they admit are close. They never do that. So that's interesting that you had the impression that it pushes the stars away.
yeah,
It might make sense. I don't understand how it works, but it makes sense to me. It
yeah,
sounds kosher.
yeah. And in relation to that, it pushes all of the stars away at the same time because the wall behind me is further behind me. All of the stars are right here, all in the same level, like as if you're looking at your popcorn ceiling in your house. There's no depth. There's not a star here. There's not a star 10,000 miles away further beyond that one. They're all like pinpricks in the sky, poo, 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 all right beside each other. They could be inches or just a few feet from each other, or maybe I would not even guess that they're a mile apart from each other. That's too far. It's just crazy because I see stars that are sometimes almost on top of each other, side by side. So how far is that when I'm zooming in? When I'm zooming in, they should start spreading out far and far and far away. They should be like hundreds of miles apart from each other, but they're not. They're just
Well, that shows that they are close. They're closer than what
yeah,
we, of course.
they're really close. Yeah. I ended up going out to my friend's farm, setting up my binoculars, and I guess it was clearer that night. And just we get this dancing frequency in the video, and I'm like, both of us are like, what are we recording? Like, we were
Yeah.
so amazed. And I had my laser there at the time, so we even pointed to the laser in that pointed to the star with my laser to confirm what we were looking at. Yeah, that was the Star Series because I was recording it for like a week before, so I knew where it was. And in relation to a video, I keep phoning astronomers and I keep telling them that I'm recording videos of stars, and they're very confused on when I say that because nobody's recorded a video of a star, like clearly. Anyways, like people with P900s or P1000s, they've recorded videos, but they're just again they're recording moisture or something, chemtrails, whatever it could be, but they're recording something in the sky between the camera and the star, and it's just not working out. And it takes a lot of hours and days, months to do this, but
So that's a big question is that, you have like, pictures and, of stars like that are like about 2 years old. So what kept you from, taking more pictures, in the meanwhile,
Mhm.
like a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 5 months, 6 months ago,
Yeah.
so did you try and you didn't succeed, or what happened? Or did
Yeah,
you?
no, yeah. So the last somewhat clear night. I would, if it was 100% clear, I would say it would be probably 80% clear, 90% clear in relation to what I've caught before that. And that night would have been January of last year, would have been the last clear night,
Yeah.
at least in relation to what I want to get as clear. So again, it's been over a year, and I go out all the time. I don't even go out anymore. I just watch the weather. If there's more than 65% humidity, at least at this point, I don't go out. The humidity never
Yeah.
drops below 60 here. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going out, wasting time. I still go out, even randomly go out and check. I'm like, no, I look up at the stars. No, not clear.
So
So
that's the problem is that in Canada it's like it's very there's a lot
yeah,
of humidity and
even in the winter, it's humid. Like it's weird.
so
Like,
the thing is that so that night where you shot those pictures actually it was like a lucky night so somehow you got like the best
yes.
conditions because you're
Yeah.
shooting you're going out all the time
Yeah.
you're always going out and out to get those pictures you had to go out like a few
Yeah.
tens or maybe hundreds of times outside
Yeah.
so
Exactly. Yeah.
so so you managed to shoot like very interesting pictures at the time when conditions were perfect that was just luck
Yeah.
so again, so you decided to use binoculars, but you're using also a phone, if I understand
Hmm.
correctly. Like the combination of a phone
Yeah.
and binoculars,
Just a
gives
regular
you
cell
this.
phone. Yeah. Well,
So
not a regular one, a high quality cell phone, anyways. Yeah.
you're zooming into the eyepiece and then just
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And again, whatever my camera is going to record is whatever the binoculars are going to show. So now there's no distortion, no reflection or angles. Whatever's coming through the eyepiece or through the lenses of those binoculars, the camera's going to record. So I've got nothing to manipulate. It's going to be the same thing as what I'm looking through the other eyepiece. If I could zoom in with my eyes, I'm going to see the exact same thing that the binoculars are going to record. So, or the cell phone, so
so we've been podcasting before on other channels. And I remember a few times you were like ranting against the all the cameras that are no good. And I have a P1000. I always heard like
yep,
good things about the P1000. That's why I bought one. And you were saying that they're not good and telescopes are not good. And that just like you know got into my mind. I said, what is that guy saying? That means that I heard you and I've been thinking about it, and I came to the conclusion that it's possible, of course, that those telescopes, that we are using today, whatever, they are like extra large telescopes or small ones, actually
hmm,
they're all the same as the telescopes that were created like 400 years ago. It's the
yep,
same principle. It just they got bigger, they got like but it's the same principle. It's like a game of mirrors inside that amplifies the light and gives you a bigger picture of things. So I had telescopes, and I know that they give you like perfect resolution of objects when you take pictures into the atmosphere. Like when I want to take picture of a house or mountain or whatever. So there's no problem about this. I can have a great resolution. But as soon as I want to go into space and catch the you know make pictures of the stars there, so we have a problem because we cannot really have like a good definition, a good resolution of the stars. All we can get like is the blur, like big spot of light.
yeah,
That's all it
yeah,
is. And I refuse to believe that this is the shape of the of the stars.
yeah,
The thing is that we know again, like I just said before, we know the shape of a house. We know what a house looks like, a boat looks like. So of course, if I look at it in my telescope and I see it blurred, I see the picture is blurred. I know that it's blurred because it shouldn't be looking like this. Because I know what it should look like. But a star, I don't know what it looks like. You
yeah,
understand?
true.
So I believe that it's possible. There is a possibility that we've been fooled for like 400 years with those instruments of, for observing the stars, that
Yeah,
actually they're not good for, observing either the dome or the stars. And today, with the pictures that you took, this actually confirms that idea, that theory, that actually maybe all those instruments are actually like rigged. They were
yeah,
built like rigged right from the
yeah,
start.
yeah, it could be. This is the star Sirius, the second time I caught it, and that was November 29th of last year.
Yeah, so that clearly doesn't look like anything we know,
Oh, hell
series
no.
of.
Yeah, that doesn't look like anything on Google, what NASA gives us.
Well,
Any.
you're sure it's not a night bug, right? It's a star, right? You
Oh,
sure?
yeah, 100% a star. Yeah. Yeah, I've confirmed that a few times already, the different stars. Yeah.
This is the great picture that you have of Sirius. What else
Yeah.
what else you got?
Yeah. So there's the star Capella.
Okay, looks the same. So look like the
Yeah,
same.
exactly. Just at a different angle because it was further north, further
Yeah, yeah.
on the curved surface above us. Um, this was more northeast. Maybe like if you were looking, if direct north was 12 o'clock position, this would probably be about the 2 o'clock position on the clock, and then the Sirius star that I just showed you, that would have been probably closer to the um, 4 or 5 o'clock position. So you can kind of tell northeast and then
Mhm.
southeast, as it rotates around us, And this one is not 100% clear, but this is Polaris.
Polaris, all right.
Yeah,
So
and you
they
can
have
see that.
the same kind of shape like this,
Yeah, kind of, but
like
this energy,
a
yeah,
ring.
yeah, this energy seems to be more of a like if electricity was flowing through water, that's what it looks like to me. Like
Okay.
it's continuous motion almost, but um, I'm gonna be able to get a lot more clear video of that once I get south of here soon. This is the star Sirius, obvious for the first
Yeah, with the
5 or 6
Betelgeuse.
nights that I was recording the star Sirius. Okay, so this is on a somewhat clear night when there's no clouds. So this is what the P1000 and P900 are going to be recording.
I get
So
you.
again, this is not a very defined star at this point. So
So we can
it's
analyze here the potential scam, because if that was taken with a P1000, right?
yeah,
Okay, so
it's
you can see actually what does it do? What does it do? It's like it amplifies the strongest light.
yeah,
That
yeah,
means that you cannot see the angles, you cannot see the shape because you have that big light there, like hiding everything.
yeah.
Betelgeuse,
Betelgeuse, yeah, that's how they.
Beetlejuice, yeah, it's called that Beetlejuice. Yeah. With in French we call that Betelgeuse, but it's wow, it's the same shape. So that means there is
Yeah.
a.
And then again, it was more of see the top here, it's not really a frequency like jumping up and down like the other one. It's more of if like flowing, like if you're running water out of your tap, out of your kitchen, that kind of a flowing,
I
it's,
understand. There's
yeah,
like that hole inside there. I don't know what it is. Also, it's like
yeah, exactly. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna hopefully confirm again. I think there's possibly there's less than 10 kind of stars up there. There could be even less than that. This is again, see, this is what, this is probably like when the sky is maybe 60, 70% clear, so you can kind of get something out of this, but again, there's still moisture in the air, You can see obviously there's always a wedge or a
yeah, yeah,
frequency,
yeah.
whatever you want to call it there, and sometimes on the bottom.
It's clear.
See, and this one's not really clear either. This is again, but there, why is that? I see that white dot again. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
why it's
yeah.
here. It's it's like the release point of all that energy or something. I don't know. It's weird. And this
Well,
one,
it has to have an energy because, of course, there's light, so
yeah.
there is an energy there.
And
That's
then so if we zoom in on this one, you can see that this light going down is now going horizontal. There's a surface there. Even you can tell, and even in this silly, ugly picture, you can see that there's this light here is reflecting off of the surface behind it.
I understand you have pictures also of the stars that look like they are like encased or encrusted into some kind of hard dark matter, like they were
Yeah,
like just
exactly. Yeah.
glued
And then
there.
there's these kind of stars. I don't know. There's
It's the same thing. It's just blurred. It's the same principle. You can see it's just like a ring in the middle,
yeah,
and
but
then
these ones look like if you're looking at a piece of wood, like straight on, like a 2x4. Like it looks like there's a hockey puck lit up in the sky sideways, But I don't know. I'm gonna get those clear. I'll know what those look like when I get to the States for sure. This is this. I don't think this is Polaris. It might be Polaris, but some of the stars look the same. But I was just pointing towards again. The light is reflecting off the surface above it. So these bad boys.
Yeah, you can see that.
And then again, like I said before, there's no depth. You know, all these stars are side by side, and I'm not exaggerating on inches apart from each other. They're literally side by side. They're touching each other, some of them.
Yeah, they're
You
just like
know?
brighter ones and
Yeah.
less
Like
bright.
maybe this one's here, maybe it might be 10 feet, 2 feet, 1 foot. I don't know. But they sure don't look far apart. They're not miles and miles apart from each other. That's nonsense to think that way, you know? And again, it looks like the surface of the moon because there's these somewhat crater-looking shapes with uh, crescent moon shadows in these craters, which is kind of interesting. We've got lines. Um,
Like traces of activity.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's quite insane actually.
Wow.
And just grab another one here. And this one's not really that clear. This looks like kind of fuzzy stars, but you can still see the surface here.
Yeah, yeah, we see that it's you know, like
Yeah,
glued onto something, like,
yeah, exactly.
it's
Yeah.
solid matter between them. It's not space in between them.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's important. That's very important.
And and then so the lines that we were just looking at, I got it in between these two stars here, whatever this is. I don't know if they're connected or it's a power grid up there. I don't know
Yes,
what's
it's a
going
power. It
on.
looks like a power grid. It looks like
Yeah,
something
it
like,
looks like a power supply from one star to the next or
yeah, yeah.
something.
Do you think it's possible that those things can communicate in between them, or just act as a communication instrument somehow?
Yeah,
Because
that's
as soon as you see something that's like glowing, that has energy, that has a frequency, so automatically it has like we can say a voice somehow. It's just like maybe I don't know
yeah. Yeah.
communicating. I don't mean that those might be intelligent, things, but just like in electronic device, things communicate in between them.
Oh, sure. Yeah, with when we're I don't know what it's called in a circuit board, but when you're soldering two points together and you got that aluminum piece or whatever the piece is, that one
Yeah, yeah,
strip goes from solder to
yeah, yeah,
solder,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's really interesting. Yeah,
Exactly. It reminds me this. So
that's the same
we're
picture I was.
very far away from what the extra large telescopes in
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah. Oh, is this the one where?
telling us.
Yeah, so when we zoom into this one really it kind of boggles my mind. I don't know why there's a square. And it looks kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it
yeah. I
looks
see. I
like it
see.
repeats, like if it's kind of like you're drawing a four-dimensional box, you know, like on a piece of paper. But
Look, what you're catching, maybe it's like energies, like maybe it's like some type of
mhm,
something, a form of energy that you're
yeah,
catching, just
yeah,
like when you catch like lightning in the air, like
yeah, yeah.
same
And then
thing.
again, the picture that we just looked at with the line going between the two stars, I don't know if it's these lines here or because some of them have like back down here, we've got looks like a Uh, oops, can I go higher with that? Well, there's another box here, but you can see that there's like it looks like these are all connected somehow or
Yeah, 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 of course.
appear to be that way, you know? And it looks like it may even come here and over there. So all this could be connected too. I don't know. It's just very interesting to look at.
Well, the most important thing for me now is that to see that those things are not into open space. They are
Yeah,
into some kind of a solid matter, black matter, whatever it is.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
it's a cloud, maybe but it looks more solid to me because there are, like you say, shadows. Or
Hmm.
shadows can also be found on clouds, but well, we have to, dig into all this, much
Yeah. And in
more.
relation to clouds, I don't know what this is. This is not a cloud. This was not on my lens or on the binoculars. So I'm going to hopefully get some more of this, whatever that is, when I'm in the States. And we'll just keep moving on from there. I don't know what that is, but yeah, just gonna, oh, this is my side-by-side comparison
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the surface above us and the surface of the moon, which basically looks the same, just one's darker than the next. And you can see the same craters here as you do here. So my only theory out of all of this would be that the moon was created from the surface above us, the firmament, the dome, the ceiling, whatever you want to call it. But
And that somehow someone pulled the plug and that there's no more energy there to be given to
yeah,
all those
true.
little diamonds,
Yeah.
all those little things there. Wow.
Oh,
So we have to rediscover our world that was stolen from us, from all these good old boys there,
yeah, exactly.
ruling over us. And this is not easy to unlearn what you've learned, and
Oh, sure. Yeah.
learn other things that sound, you know, amazing, crazy. But actually, we should have known of this like for a long time. And I believe somehow the elder ones, knew that, the old civilizations, the
Yeah.
ancient ones, they knew all
And
that stuff.
and the one thing I would like to say too, that the reason why I'm like people are questioning me about all this stuff too, and they're like, how did you do that? What, like, is it real? Blah, blah, blah. You know what? I've spent a lot of hours, nights, weeks, months. I have put in a lot of time. Okay. A lot of people don't do anything and they wonder why they don't accomplish anything because they're not getting off their asses and doing anything. They're not going outside. I know where the stars are. I know where to point my binoculars. I'm doing the work and I'm putting a lot of time into this, you know, and this is why I produce things. I don't go out 2 or 3 times a year. I go out when it's nice, 2 or 3 times a week, if not every night of the week, if it's clear, you know. It, it's
Well,
it's
it's
it's a
not.
job. It's a job for me. I'm
It's,
paying attention to the weather, the everything, and
I believe it's more
it.
than a job; it's a passion for you also, and that also
Yes,
makes a difference because if you
yeah,
put
exactly.
your heart into what you do, and if you love what you do, usually you
Hmm.
have much more chance to succeed in what you
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
that's true with everything. That's the
It's
Star
much,
Series,
yeah.
like glowing,
And,
like
and and yeah, but you can see it going down on a curve, you know? It's when it's moving, it's going down and curving.
wait a second, that's not your camera doing this. It's not you like your.
This blue is my laser, that's my laser, but the no, no, the star is moving as if it's on a surface going down on a curve. You see that?
Well, that's interesting because then it doesn't.
Yeah, this is
Goes
better.
along with the idea that they are like fixed, they're like, glued
Yeah,
into a
well, yeah,
position.
this 100% proves there's a dome. You can tell by watching the star, you know?
So they're sliding down that stuff. That maybe the traces then that you see those like those paths there, those that maybe like just like simply traces of those stars that did slide somehow. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We have to
And
say.
then and then if like if I was out there, 2 hours before, do you see my cursor?
Yeah, yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So this would have been eventually over here and probably straight up and down. You know what I'm saying? Because
Whoa.
it's more straight in front of me. So not as it moves further west, going along the curve of the surface above us, it would dip down. Just like as if you're underneath a tent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
A
yeah,
dome,
yeah, yeah.
you know?
Well, actually, again, according to our books, the stars are like, into the dome somehow. They're the ones that are like, going around,
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
actually, it kind of makes sense that they have to slide somehow because I don't know if the dome itself, moves. I don't believe there is a movement of the dome.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
so actually, the stars themselves are sliding into the dome. So that makes sense. It always all this it makes sense. It's like it's great. It's great.
Yeah, and then I'll go frame by frame here so you can.
They don't teach you that in university, that's for sure.
No, that is for sure. Yeah.
They don't have that.
Well, they don't teach you anything. They don't.
They don't have that in the program this year. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, the stars aren't in the program. So yeah, these are Celestron. Let's see
So
if I
that's
can.
20 by 80, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. After we're done, we should probably talk about those other ones. I just want to remind you of something. That's all. Yeah, just
Yeah.
they're nice and light. Like just very easy to handle.
Well, that's
And
also that's important when you observe the sky.
yeah,
That's it's light.
yeah,
You don't have to deal
exactly.
with like a 50-pound telescope.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, sky multi-coated. They're nothing fancy. Just your basic bigger binoculars. And then I got the massive 25 by 100s here, if I can put them in the screen.
That makes a difference, right? In between the
Yeah, well, yeah, no, even just going from those 20 magnification to 25 is a huge difference looking at the sky. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to try to use these as much as I can. I want to get comfortable with these. It's a little harder to turn my dials because of the weight,
yeah, yeah.
but I can still do it.